Yeah, so again here at 8:08. We're back in a different rhythm. So I've been sewing. I like this one, a little top with stripes out of those collars that strangle you. So I am listening to what the Holy Spirit says. So even though I ought not fear, but to cover your head and to cover your neck, it's got two purposes. It's probably wise, my dear, because when you're of a different nature, these things do not occur, you see. I might look rather old to not really think about the concept of jealousy. I've always understood that it's a wasted emotion, but what I understand now, well, it is often people's motivation. So I will come back to you one day and release my hair from here, but I'm not here to talk about those kinds of things, my dears. Yes, my favourite position, it's got a little bit dirty from the gardening, is to rest, you see, because I do not think that man was put on earth to work so incessantly. And I realise in many cultures, in France, they do rest quite well. In England, there's a lot of fear and judgment. And in America, well, you do not rest at all. So this morning on my tablet, as I'm stitching my neck collar and listening to certain politicians speak, well, maybe better to say scream and holler, I realised just how much we're here to judge the others and not see at all that other countries are our brothers. This incessant need of attack and defence, and then projection actually of the same offence, but you're just doing it in another dimension. So how to get word across without bringing people to fear or aggravating their dispassion to do crazy magic, I swear. You do not need to go to church because that puts you in false safety of a building and a community and the idea of payment and some form of charity. This course is here to teach you that your strength, it lies within, and that your loving Father does not know of a concept of sin. This is all placed upon us in a certain way to wash our minds over and over again so that we simply obey, to fill us with this idea of wars. And then these men, because I would like to call our leaders gentlemen, but that is far from what they are. As you notice, I'm told to pause, to be very conscious when I speak, to not speak with any idea of judgment or any grievance I may keep, simply in a way of observation to clarify and, what's the word I'm looking for? expose certain types of aggravation, which then mount the energies of the population within, and then these certain, let's call them egregor, which is just a condensation of energy, are simply able to feed. Now, if we look at what's going on, and this is why I'm here, because of my experience lately of, I think they call it gang stalking. Well, it's rather ridiculous, my dears. But to use something called OnlyFans, it ought to be illegal. There you go, I'll stop with that. That is my principle. I have refused numerous times to pay any money to join a club which idolizes someone in any shape or form. There are no idols, they all are false. The only awe I have is for the loving, living God, and that's where my position stands. So there you go. I'm not going to talk much more. I'm just happy to be back at 808. It was rather crazy this last few weeks, but we're getting over it. Yes. Because before I used to get rather indignant, and I realise it's what they call rage baiting. Now, I've been so cut away from the world, that's an understatement, I didn't understand these things. But as I come out of my shell, I'm very proud of my innocence. But that does not mean that je suis bête or naive, my friends. I'm just able to laugh at myself. But I can brush up rather well. And I think I've got a story. Well, I know I've got a story. And the Holy Spirit says, tell. But today we're practicing and remembering that any form of grievance towards any brother or sister stops us feeling the light inside and manifesting salvation. So keep repeating it to yourself. Do you hear it? Twice an hour. And then you will find it doesn't matter what anyone says. Your peace is your permanent power. So unless we rise up together, not in aggravation, in joy, in love and light, but never hesitation, to stand before anyone in our ultimate truth, I can assure you God's got your back and you will be the living proof. So I will keep repeating, when we are healed, as I'm being for sure, we will not be healed alone. And maybe you will not see everyone who is touched by this liberation, but just know, as you allow your mind to rise up beyond those clouds, so many more minds are touched as well, and then there'll be even more people brave enough and stand up with a story to tell. So goodbye and farewell, in love and light, at 9:29 when I nearly turned off. Remember who you really are and learn to make fun of yourself. The only collar you ought to wear is maybe one that protects your neck from the wind in winter. Yes, you white-collar workers, maybe stand up and understand that it's you that's a little berserker.